welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tackling something I think we've all felt. Our digital world is supposed to be this huge, chaotic, creative place, right? So why does it so often feel kind of predictable? We're going to dig into that and explore how we can foster the creative mutations we need to bring back some of that wonderful chaos. So let's just dive right in with a question I bet you've asked yourself. You're scrolling, right? Through whatever feed, and even though you have the entire world at your fingertips, it all just starts to look, well, the same. It feels predictable. What is going on there? To get to the bottom of this, we're going to look at a really cool idea, that the internet actually evolves like a living thing. We'll cover that evolution, then get into the weird paradox of personalization, understand how we all get trapped in these digital bubbles, and, this is the important part, figure out how we can break free.
All right, so first things first. To really get this, we have to start with a fascinating concept. The internet isn't just a bunch of wires and computers. Think of it more like a living, breathing ecosystem.
The whole big idea here is that the internet runs on the very same principles as biological evolution. Seriously, just like DNA, digital information, a meme, a video, an idea, it follows a code for survival, and that code is driven by three key forces. Okay, so this is where it gets really cool. Let's break down this idea of digital evolution. The perfect example? A meme, right? First it gets copied and shared. That's replication. Then people start adding their own spin to it, changing the text, photoshopping it. Those are the mutations. And then based on whether we find it funny or share it, that's the selection pressure from our attention. It either goes viral or just fades away. But here's the catch. This incredible, vibrant ecosystem, just bursting with potential for new ideas and all these weird, wonderful mutations, it's actually facing a huge threat. And the crazy part is, that threat is coming from the very tools that were designed to make our lives online better. And this slide just perfectly sums up the central paradox we're all living through. The promise of the internet was this amazing space of infinite creativity, infinite diversity. But the reality, for so many of us, feels more like a world that's getting more and more uniform, more homogenized. So what's the culprit here? What's causing this? Well, the source material points the finger right at recommendation algorithms. I mean, they're designed to give us what we want, and they do that by making these super precise models of what we've liked in the past. It creates this powerful feedback loop that just keeps showing us more of what we already know. And this feedback loop has a really powerful effect. It builds these invisible walls all around us, and without us even knowing it, it traps each of us inside our own personalized bubble. Now, the first layer of this trap is what we call an echo chamber. This is a space where your own beliefs just get amplified and reflected right back at you over and over again. It starts to feel like your way of seeing things is the only way, because any other viewpoints just get filtered out. And that echo chamber hardens into what's known as a personal filter bubble. Now you're in a state of, well, intellectual isolation. The algorithm isn't just showing you what you like, it's actively hiding things that might challenge you. It's creating a unique but very lonely reality just for you. I absolutely love this metaphor from the source material. It's so perfect. It's like our digital environment becomes this sterile, unchanging ecosystem for our minds, a cognitive microbiome that just doesn't have the diversity it needs to be healthy and strong.
And here's the real cost. This is the crucial point. This homogenization, this sameness, it starves the digital soil. It takes away all the nutrients needed for those new mutations to grow. You know, the weird, the unconventional, the totally out there ideas that are the actual seeds of creativity and innovation.
Okay, I know, that sounds pretty bleak, but here's the good news. We are not just stuck here. We can do something about it. So the real question is, how do we escape? How do we, rewild our own little digital gardens and get some of that essential diversity back in? Well, the first line of defense is the platforms themselves. What if, instead of just optimizing for clicks and engagement, they actually built diversity parameters into their algorithms? Just imagine a feed that intentionally throws some novelty your way, or maybe a surprise me button, or even a little section that automatically shows you a well-argued opposing viewpoint. Now, zooming out to the systemic level, regulation could be a really big deal. We could require audits to check for bias in these black box algorithms and demand a lot more transparency about how they work. Having outside groups regularly evaluating them could be a powerful check on this whole homogenization effect. And finally, we get to the solution that empowers every single one of us: education. The more we promote digital literacy, the more aware we all become of how these systems work.
And honestly, that awareness is the critical first step to taking control and consciously choosing to diversify where we get our information from. It's how we break out of the bubble ourselves.
So you see, when we combine all these approaches, getting platforms to change, having regulators provide oversight, and all of us becoming more aware users, we can actually start to cultivate a much healthier and more dynamic digital world. The ultimate goal here isn't about getting rid of algorithms entirely. It's about making them better. The idea is to transform the internet from what is basically a simple replication field, where the same popular ideas just get copied ad nauseum, into a place of true organic evolution, a place where new discoveries and creative leaps aren't just an accident, but are actively encouraged. And that brings us to the final thought I want to leave you with from this explainer. The very next time you pull out your phone, open an app, and start that endless scroll, just pause for a second. Ask yourself, is this place a rich, wild forest full of surprises, or is it more like a perfectly manicured but ultimately sterile monoculture farm? The choice of what we cultivate, well, a part of that choice is definitely up to us.